Alright guys, today we are working on the Integra again. No surprise. This time, when I'm done, I'm just going to go to Area 51 and steal whatever I need to make it reliable so I can stop working on it. So stay tuned, we're going to go to Area 51 at the end of the video and see what I really need. Anyway, today, what we're going to be doing, real quick, let me know how this camera looks. I'm using a different camera. Let me know how you guys think it's going to do for vlogging, if I should stick with the setup or not. Today, we are doing the valve stem seal. So I did that break-in method in the last video, which seemed to help cut down the oil consumption, but I still have some. My spark plug on cylinder 1 was super oily and is low on compression by 25 psi versus the other 3 cylinders. Doing a leak down test. Valve stem seals are the issue, so we're going to change those out today. We got a special tool to compress the valve springs because on the Hondas you can actually do them with it in the head in the car still. And then we got some new AN fittings, and I'll explain why in a bit. Some seals and just another timing belt, and then a banana for scale, just so you guys can tell how big everything is. So for those of you guys that were following my videos in this car, last autocross I filled this catch can up, and I filled it up so fast I was blowing out of the top. So talking to people at autocross, we were kind of leaning towards rings not being set because we assumed that there was so much crankcase pressure going through that I was filling it up too fast. After doing more research, the way I plumbed the catch can, for those of you guys that saw that video, I used the galley blocks, galley ports in the back of the block. The issue with that is, well, when you do some research on it, it's the best setup for this car for a B series, right? Good for 25 psi, guys use it all day long, reliably. If you're drag racing, I found some other guys who did the same thing as me who do autocross and road racing, and they had the same exact issue. When you add corners into the mix and you get that G-forces, and when the oil starts to slosh, it pumps the oil through these hoses and fills it up prematurely. So we were filling it up super quick and it was blowing out of the top. So the plan for today is, I got those other AN fittings and we're going to put them on the valve cover somewhere and run those ports there. We're going to put it here because the oil sloshing shouldn't be an issue. And I think I'm going to put them on this side because if you look at this motor is kind of slightly slanted this way. So this side here would be the highest port here, and I think it'll be a lot cleaner for routing the hoses, rather than having hoses here and having heat from the headers and stuff and all that. I think this is going to be a lot more efficient. So with that said, let's get to it. We're going to start pulling the valve cover off and all the timing stuff off so we can go ahead and get the valve stem seals first. We'll do that first, then we'll do the catch can ports next. Alright guys, so we got everything exposed now. Now the next step here is going to be to take all these bolts off so I can remove the camshaft. We're going to take it off in a fashion where we're going to do the opposite of the torque, where the torque sequence is you go inside and then work your way out as you torque. We're going to do the exact opposite and do it outside as we remove to inside, so that way we relieve the stress off the cam in an appropriate manner. Alright guys, so we got Ed here. I didn't make any progress without Ed until now, and now we got the cams out. They're right here. Yes, they're laying on their sides. We're going to be quick. They're not going to be sitting for a long time, so we don't have to worry about sitting on their sides for a small period of time. So next thing we're going to do here now is we are going to plug the oil galleys, and then we can get the valves right here. We can compress them, and we'll use that fancy tool I got, and all will be good in the world. Alright guys, we got some Area 51 technology. Went there last night to scope it out. Stole this from Area 51. Clapped some alien cheeks while I was there. The way this works is we bolt this here to where the cam caps were originally, and there's this part here. Let me grab it real quick. This guy, that's going to sit on the valve. It's going to sit on the valve here, just like that. And then there's this threaded portion here. A bolt goes through. The bolt will run through and push on the valve spring right here and compress it. And at that point, we can get the keepers. So there are two things we need to keep in mind here. We need to plug the oil galley so we don't drop any keepers into the oil pan or drain or anything. We don't want to lose those. The next thing is, as soon as we remove these and the valve stem seals, the valves could potentially drop. So we don't have any compressed air to compress the cylinder with air. So what we're going to end up doing is we are going to use some alien technology, and we're going to fill the cylinder with rope. So we're going to bring the piston that we're working on, the cylinder we're working on, to bottom dead center, fill it with rope, turn it to top dead center, so that rope that's filled up will push up against the valves and hold the valves up while we do the valve stem seals. So let's give this a try. If this fails, if we screw this up, we're pulling the head off. So let's hope we do it right. Alright guys, we got the first one out off camera because it's extremely stressful trying to get the keepers out. So this is how it's working. We're just compressing it here. I'm probably put the camera down because I really don't want to film this because I'm just stressed out doing it. So stay tuned, and we're gonna go to the next part now. All right, we got that one off. We're just gonna do one because I'm having trouble with this one. So we'd rather just make progress rather than spin our wheel. Anyway, this is like really anxious, guys. This is giving me anxiety. So we're gonna pull that seal off there, and yeah. If we look in there, oh, the rope's in there now, but you can actually see oil on the piston. We left for lunch and came back an hour later, and there was actually a coat of oil on the piston. So that definitely kind of leads more towards this leaking, because I mean that's the only thing gravity feeding oil right now.
You could just run a Subaru one.
All right, we got our first valve stem seal out. Oh, come on, focus.
Sorry, Mom.
Come on, you can do this. I believe in you. Oh yeah, look how chewed up that is. That is definitely not helping anything. So we're gonna Kobe that and move on to the next. All right, so next thing after doing the valve seals, we're gonna put some AN fittings on this valve cover here. So we're gonna drill some holes about the size of that and go from there. Okay, we got our 2 holes for the AN fittings here and here. We need to clean this out, and then we can bond the fittings onto here either by weld or whatever we can get our hands on today. All right, guys, valve cover's done. Valve stem seals are done. That took way longer than I intended, so we're gonna start reassembling now. There's something so satisfying about assembly lube. Oh. Alright guys, we just finished doing the timing, and we just realized something, so let's check this out real quick. Timing is spot on, but for you B18 enthusiasts, I pulled a big old dummy dumb. Yeah. Some people don't run it, but I'm gonna redo it so I can put this on because it's gonna drive me nuts knowing I don't have it on. Just a personal gripe. Because I'm gonna think something's gonna crawl back there and ruin my timing, and yeah, so getting really good at timing this guy. Really good at it. Ed, have you ever kissed a man or been kissed by a man?
Nope.
I've been kissed by a man once. Brought him some food at Les Schwab to thank him, and he kissed me. So, I'm now an LGBT supporter. Alright, late night update. Got the supercharger belt on, but as I was sliding on, the pulley slipped from the supercharger portion of the alternator to the actual alternator portion. So, I'm just gonna go jump off a cliff right now. Alright guys, so I just got that supercharger belt on. It was really a pain in the butt because what happens is as you get the belt over the supercharger pulley, it misaligns on the alternator pulley because the alternator has two pulleys on it. One for the actual alternator feed from the crank, and then it runs the supercharger up. So it kept dropping down to the shorter one. So it was really hard to get in there because it's so close to the frame of the car that I'm just kind of wrestling my hands in there, trying to hold tension, push the belt over, slip it over. It feels like this belt's maybe just a hair too short. Maybe a little bit of a longer one would be better for a future service. So, but I got it on for now, and it's good. So we're gonna tighten it up. I'm gonna call it a night, and we're gonna come back here tomorrow when we have more light, because I also need to go get a new valve cover gasket, so we can't really finish this up tonight anyway. And we'll carry on from there. All right, guys, it's day 2. We're back here with the Integra, making it great again. We're gonna get everything buttoned up. Just need to get the timing cover on, tighten up all the accessory belts, make sure everything's good, get a new valve cover gasket on, go run to the store real quick and get that. Then I just have to reroute the hoses from the bottom down there and plug off those ports that I made in the past. And then that should be it. There are my AN fittings in the valve cover. They look pretty good. Actually, it's pretty quality. Proud of myself for that. So hopefully this resolves all the issues this car has. I noticed something yesterday when we were turning the motor over. I couldn't hear any hissing noises coming from the valve train. Before, you could turn it over and you could hear a hissing noise. And I think that was just pressure leaking through the valve stem seals that were bad. So, yeah. Okay, so everything's buttoned up for the most part. We just really need to put the little accessories on, like the distributor back on, valve cover, gasket back on, and reroute these hoses. I wasn't able to get to the ports. I can get to one of them, but the one that's on the further side over here, I don't know how to get with everything in here right now. I did it with a supercharger off, which made a lot of room. So right now where that port sits, it sits in the middle here like this guy. And then imagine these guys being like 40 times bigger and this one being 40 times bigger. And that was a supercharger and that was the alternator. There's like no way to actually get a wrench in here to this guy. Theoretically, talking about the port on the back of the block. So we're gonna have to do some shade tree mechanic work. Probably what I'm going to do, take these two hoses, loop them together. And that way, at least if oil sloshes in, it'll drain back. And you know what I'm doing? I'm just increasing my oil capacity, so it's win-win, right? So, I'm gonna run to the auto parts store, get some parts. I'm gonna cut my finger off because I keep getting it in the camera lens, sorry about that. And hopefully we can fire this guy up in the next hour. Alright guys, we got our parts in the Z, now we're gonna head back and get this thing done. So I don't know why I'm sharing this because the internet's going to crucify me, but for now, those two valve cover ports in the back, I'm going to use one of these guys to plug them together. I wish there was more of a U shape, that'd be pretty nice the way it's routed. This 90 will work instead of doing it straight through at least, so it'll have less bend in it. It's kind of ghetto, it is kind of ghetto admittedly, but that's what I'm going to do for now. And then next time I'm deeper into the car back there, I'm going to plug those back up with the factory plugs. So yeah, but I don't know. You guys should have figured it out by now. This whole car is held together by Elmer's wood glue, so you guys shouldn't be surprised. Alright, valve cover's on. Haven't put hoses to it yet. I just want to make sure it starts fine, so we're going to check that out right now. There's always a lot of anxiety on starting up after doing this, so let's see. We're here. We don't have fuel pressure right now. Okay. It spins like it's supposed to. Let's turn on the fuel pump now. Okay, we've got fuel pressure. Seems to be running, so we did something right. We're gonna have to mess with that AFR for sure, but that's gonna be after we plug everything back together. So here are at the exhaust. No sputtering, so that's good. It used to have a little sputter at idle, so I think that was because of the valve stem seals. Alright, let's get it all back together. Poof, are we done here? I think we're done here. Guys, it's complete. It's not the best. I don't have any more hose, so I need to run the store and get longer hose, so now it's kind of running over and looking kind of ghetto. So, I'm going to drive over to the store, make sure everything works. But I think we're going to end the video here. So we got it done. And don't worry about this. I'm probably going to fix this next couple days, get a longer hose so I can kind of tuck it so it's a little cleaner. But yeah. So, oh, before anyone says anything, I know. I can't find a K&N, one that fits this diameter, so I just have to order another Comtech filter. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully the Teggy's all good to go and we can stop working on it and actually keep driving it now. Next weekend we'll be doing autocross in this car, hopefully, if everything turns out good, the next coming week. And we'll see how it does there, so make sure to like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.